Good morning. My name is Carrie, and welcome to Carrie's Corner. Today, I'd like to talk about a very popular subject that seems to be going on today among everybody, and it's blaming God. You look through all the Bible, there are some people in here that do a really good job of blaming God. And I bet you if you talk to other people, you hear it a lot in culture. People blame God for their problems, for everything. So I want to look at the book of Job in particular, and this guy gets a lot of stuff happening to him. So the devil is kind of hanging around. He asked God. Satan answered the Lord and said, "From going to and fro the earth and walking back and forth on it." He's looking for somebody to cause problems with. Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, blameless and upright man, who fears God and shuns evil?" So right here you kind of wonder, why would God be setting Job up for this? And it goes on to say, so Satan answered the Lord and said, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a hedge around him, around his household, and around all that he has on every side? You bless the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But now stretch out your hand and touch all that he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." And the Lord said to Satan, "Behold, all that he has in your power, only do not lay a hand on his person." So right here, Satan is saying, basically, I'm going to destroy Job and all that he has, but I'm not. God said, don't destroy the person, but you can destroy everything that's around him. So right there, you kind of wonder, why would God do that? But God deems Job righteous. He's an upright man. He's righteous. We know that of him. So now we're going to really see it put to the test. And everything comes in as one fell swoop. He loses his cattle. He loses his herds, his servants, his children. He loses all this stuff, right one behind the other, as people are saying, "Hey, you lost your cattle," and then somebody else comes in and says, "Hey, you lost your kids," and all this stuff that's happening to Job. He has in human eyes, he would have every reason to curse God. But you see right here that he doesn't do that. When all this is happening, Job arose, tore his robe, and shaved his head, and he fell to the ground and worshipped. And he said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." After all that, I give Job major props for that. You lose your kids, you lose everything that's dear to you, you lose your very lifeblood. You just really feel like, wow, God, like, why? Why would you do this to me? Like, why? And that's a question we hear a lot in today's society. And I want to approach this with gentleness, because a lot of people have lost a lot. Some people have lost children. To me, having 2 children, that just seems absolutely unimaginable to me. And it just makes me even tear up right now, just thinking, losing children, like, how much worse, could it get? Losing everything right around you that's dear to you, how much worse could it get? And again, I want to approach this with sensitivity. I had people come up to me in the past and said, "Hey, I lost my baby. I don't know how I can trust God. How could God be good when I lost my baby all these years ago?" And gosh, for a while, I was just like at a loss for words for that. And like, how can I respond to that? Like when this woman is crying to me saying she lost her baby. Or maybe some parents that went a really hard way, or all these difficult things that you go through in life. How do you answer that? And I just want to go further in the story of Job. Let's see how his wife responds, because his wife gives him an answer. And I don't know if you've read the story, but it's something, that I think that's a very human response, and she gets a bad rap for it sometimes. So Job's wife basically tells him, "Curse God and die." Then his wife said to him, "Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse God and die." But he said to her, "You speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Shall we indeed accept good from God? Shall we not accept adversity?" In all this, Job did not sin with his lips. And so here, looking in the story, I find the answer to that question, like, why would God do this? Recently, I went through a hard time, and I blamed God. And I'm like, "God, like, why? Like, why would this happen? Why would we be going through this? Why would this happen?" And my husband gave a really good answer, and it was nothing like Job went through, so it's not even close to what Job went through. But it's really simple. But Robbie gave the answer, like, why are you blaming God? Why are you not blaming Satan? And it's true, because a lot of times we blame God for things that Satan does. We blame God for things that just happen sometimes. That just, just happen in life. And the the rain rains on the just and the unjust. So that, keeping in mind, it doesn't make it any easier when stuff happens. But why are we blaming God for things that happen to us? And yes, he does have the power to stop it. Yes, he does have the power to put an end to suffering and pain. But what if God does that for a reason? What if God does that to bring you closer to him? And in the moment, you don't want to see it, you don't want to hear it. There's reasons why he does it, and I have no idea. He's God. I have no idea why he does some of the things he does. But I think putting blame in its proper place, putting blame in the proper place of, okay, we're wicked people. Sometimes we sin. Sometimes we mess up. Not saying it happens because of that, but sometimes life just happens and Satan does stuff to us. So putting blame in the proper place of Satan or just life happening and God being sovereign over all of that. You see here, Job did not sin with his lips. He did not curse God and die. And that's something to look at, because a lot of times we do it. Even I've seen Christians do it, and I as myself have been tempted to do that, to curse God. Not curse God and saying, oh, I'm done with you, but saying, like, God, like, why did you allow it? And I don't think God minds questions, but I think when we place a blame on God for something that he's using to draw us closer to him, or for something that, like he didn't even do, I think that's where we have to be really careful not to. I think God loves it when we crawl up in his lap and ask questions. Just last night, actually, it happens. I'm like, God, like, why? Because our 18-month-old little baby likes to get up in the middle of the night, crawl out of her crib. We've been going through a really challenging time with that. I'm pretty sleep deprived right now, so we get up a lot during the night and chase her. So it's been a really hard time for us trying to get that sleep and trying to get, refreshed. So again, like I said, nothing as bad as what Job's going through, but still is something that's a hard time. And I laid there at 3 o'clock last night and I said, God, like, I don't know why you're doing this, but I just want to crawl up in your lap and I need to get my strength from you. So it's just something, he said, hey, I'm your daddy, I'm here for you. And that's what I really needed to hear at that point. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I wasn't like, oh, why, God, like, why are you doing this? At 3 o'clock, I need my sleep. No, at that point, God taught me something. I want you to sit here and I want you to talk to me through this. And it's something, throughout a lot of things I think he's trying to teach me. I want you to sit here, crawl up in my lap. I'm your heavenly daddy. I love you. And I want you to work through this with me. And he said, I'm going to walk with you through this. God doesn't leave us in a trial and says, I'm going to leave you alone. He said, I'm going to walk with you through all your problems. So whether it's a hard time in parenting, whether you lose a baby or a parent or whatever hard things that can come your way, God's going to walk right there with you. And that's his promise for his children. When we go through hard stuff, God is right there with us. He doesn't leave us up a creek without a paddle. He says, I'm here for you. I love you. I'm not always going to change your situation, but I'm going to be here for you. So today I just want to leave you with that. If you've been through stuff, I really want to be sensitive to that and say, I'm sorry. Whatever you've been through, life is hard, and we know that. But when I say, when you put your hope in Jesus, that's where he helps you walk through those really hard mountains. But I love you guys, and I just want to encourage you with that today. So have a good day, and God bless.